Alright, so now let's try and create the same FAQ chatbot, except that this time we'll be using the Zia Skills platform. So we'll click on add bot here. I'll call it Zia bot. Choose a website, mining business data, click on widget, and over here I'll choose Zia Skills. And you can see that the skill name is Zia bot, and I'll just say that it answers FAQ about Dialogflow. And in the response, I want to remove these input options and have it just say, hi, how can I help? That's it. So let's create. And what you have to do is click on this Access Zia Skills console, and that's how you get started with creating the FAQ aspect of it. Now here you can see that there's an option to add an action, and in this case for the FAQ style bots you can think of an action as an intent, and in the action name I'm going to just say definition. It should answer a question, it should give a direct answer. We are not going to fetch any data from any external source. And then we come to this, how can this question be asked? So coming back to this spreadsheet I've created in Airtable, so I can ask this question in 3 different ways. So how Google Dialogflow works, and I also have a copy of the answer here. I'll copy this and I'll paste it here. And notice that it will also allow you to ask this question in other ways. So this is like the training phrases in Dialogflow. What are the other ways to invoke this question? And I'm going to go and copy this, add it here, and let's also go and add this third phrase and save it. So that we have like one question is being answered, how Google Dialogflow works. And what I'll do is you have to deploy this to production. That is, you have to connect this step is what connects it to the bot you saw in the previous page. So you can see that it's allowing you to add these new actions, and it also has release type, and you can have release nodes. And once you do this deployment, the version number will be 1.0. I like all these like version settings and things like that. I think it's very nice. So let's go ahead and do the deployment. Now I'm going to go back to the bot we have over here, refresh it just in case. Now I'm going to say, how does Dialogflow work? So you can see that it's coming back with this response which we had input into the bot action. But notice that how does Dialogflow work, the exact phrase is not actually appearing in the action that we have created. You have, first of all, there is the question mark after that. And even if I were to, to make it even clearer, let me just modify it like quite a bit. How does Dialogflow work? Now this is, I've seen a lot of people refer to Dialogflow as 2 words in this way, like as though there are 2 words, one dialogue and the other flow. And this is a very common misspelling, but notice that it's not affected. That is, it still comes back with the right response, and it knows that this phrase is similar enough to the phrase that we have already declared in the action inside this list of questions that can be asked, or the way this question could be asked. So what I'm going to do now is going to add just a couple of more actions or intents. Now the next one I'm going to have is who uses Dialogflow. So let's do that. Who, by the way, you cannot use any special characters, so you probably have to resort to camel casing to make sure that you can read the action easily. So this is same thing, answer a question, give a direct answer, and the question is who uses Dialogflow. And the answer is Dialogflow is used by major companies such as KLM Airlines. And I'm not going to add any more other ways to invoke this question, just have this one question. And then I'm going to add a third question, which is why use dialog flow. Add action, why use dialog flow, answer a question, give a direct answer. How can this question be asked? Let me put a question mark after that. What's the answer? Let's copy this and I'm going to save it. Again, that's just one way to ask this question. Alright, so now we have added two more actions. We have to deploy it to production, otherwise the bot itself is not going to be updated with your latest updates here. Let's go ahead and deploy this. So now it's deployed successfully, and let's try it. Who uses dialog flow? You can see that it comes back with this used by major companies. Why use dialog flow? You can use dialog flow to interact. How about why use dialog flow? Same thing. So this is actually very good. You can already see a major improvement versus writing it all in code and trying to figure it out, because what's happening here is that by using these skills and using these training phrases and using these, I guess, the way you can invoke a specific response, you are already moving in the direction of natural language processing. And I will say that the NLU, the natural language understanding provided by Zia Skills, is actually very good, but it may be a bit too aggressive. So what I mean by that is, if I were to say what is dialog flow, and remember that not only is this question not in the not actually in the list of actions, you don't expect it to provide the given responses as an answer in this case. So if I try that, you can see that it just tries to map it in the most aggressive way to something which is similar. So it goes to dialog flow is used by major companies such as KLM Airlines, which is not the answer that you would expect, right? It's not really relevant to the question that is being asked. It is just some answer. So this is just some answer which is coming back from this Zia bot, and it's just doing it based on very aggressive mapping of the question to the answer, which is not always something that we would want. And in the next video, once we use dialog flow, I will show you how you can improve on this.